basically what exactly is mindfulness or meditation. So we are studying this Patanjali Yoga Sutra. The first few sutras we understood. And then we started understanding why the mind is wandering. If you remember, we have five subjective states of the mind. We have five objective states of the mind. Huh? Do you remember forgetfulness, wandering mind, huh? Obsession, etc., etc.? And then we understood what exactly is the method, practice. So in the practice, yeah, we normally say, oh, meditation exercise means as if we are going to a gym. So it is different. So here is the practice with the knowledge, with understanding, with wisdom. In order to succeed, we have to, that practice should be done for a longer period, regularity, continuity, uh, with respect to yourself. Do you respect yourself? Yes. So, how do we know in yoga do you respect yourself? You got upset today. You did not respect yourself. And that being upset is due to the mind. So, like this. And then we understood who is, after all, a seeker. So, you are the highest level of a seeker by birth, or if not, you can achieve that being the highest level of a seeker by five aspects. Do you still remember? Who remembers? Who cares? It is all about yoga, not about me. Yoga is all about you. Shraddha, faith, virya, energy, Shraddha, virya, smriti, right memory, and the practice of meditation and higher consciousness. So, in even if one person is a novice and practice meditation, we have a glimpse or we touch the higher consciousness. That is why we share our experiences. So, the goal of meditation is all about real self, our true nature. And then we understood five different ways. What exactly is this real self? We can say simply pure consciousness. And the moment you say pure consciousness, science comes in between. So we don't bring the science here. We say consciousness is, huh? What is consciousness is? It is beyond the cause and effect. It is beyond the doer and the experiencer. It transcends all the suffering. That was the first definition. Second definition, it is the source of all the knowledge. Third definition, we found it is absolute existence, consciousness, bliss. And then we understood that we can, there are a lot of explanation about the consciousness. How can you designate? There are a lot of attributes of John and Sophie and Michelle and Charlie. So we should give a name, Charlie. We should give it. So that is why we gave a name to that real self as Om. Then the master says, Om meditation helps not only to succeed in meditation, but it removes all the obstacles. So there the Patanjali the master has been very kind to us. He says, okay, you did Om meditation. Did you succeed? No. So then the master says, okay, you have lot of obstacles. Understand these obstacles. And 99% of these obstacles are psychological, mental. So we are studying those 9 obstacles now. So the first obstacle that we say Uh, just before going there, let us pick up some of the expressions. I don't feel like doing it. It is an obstacle. I feel lazy. It is an obstacle. You feel lazy. You must practice meditation. I don't feel like doing it. Yeah, the mind is playing a trick with you. Let me do it. So once you overcome these thought processes associated with the mind, I feel my body is so much heavy, and the mind is also heavy. So we ask instantly, "Oh, does my weight increase? That's why you feel heaviness in the body? Huh? Does your weight of the mind increase?" No, weight of the mind does not exist. It does not have color, shape, weight. Then why I have these expressions? So these expressions point to a specific obstacle in the mind out of the nine obstacles. So we will take up the first obstacle, which is known as barrier, which is known as physical illness. Physical illness. It is known as vyadhi. Physical illnesses. Anything causing unease to the body and the mind is known as the disease. Now we see uh, we say our masters say that this disease is caused by the disequilibrium of the three defects. What are the three defects? They are known as Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. It is studied in Ayurveda. Ayurveda is a sister science of yoga, sister tradition of yoga. Ayurveda, we say that it is the science of herbs. So we say that there is basic disequilibrium between the five elements that causes the illness. One, it may be caused by trauma. It is written so thousands of years ago. And the third is all about the mental diseases. Now the master continues. The commentator explains the body and mind are deeply connected. When there is a disturbance in the mind, ah, you see that how we understand there is a disturbance in the mind that travels to the body, returns to the mind. That process is known as psychosomatic disorders and diseases in modern science. I am angry. Now, how do you know that I'm angry? Through the physical expressions. That anger travels from the mind to the body. And from the body, it goes back to the mind for an expression. It is known as psychosomatic disorders. So, our masters pay great detail attention that 90% of our problems are of psychosomatic origin. So the Yoga Nidra, we will be doing Yoga Nidra maybe next week. So Yoga Nidra is a practice that infuses the consciousness in the body, prevents the body to react through the negative attitude, negative expressions of the mind. So Yoga Nidra has been a great practice, though it is very simple to manage this obstacle. Now we come to the next step, which is very important. So, why not prevent these physical illnesses? So, the master counts six factors. If we follow these six factors, it causes lot of mental problems. One is atyahara. We say atyahara prayasasta prajalpo niyamagraha janasanghascha lolyam cha shadbhir yogo vinashyati. First problem is eating too much. I like pasta, so let me eat little more. But who says you to eat little more? The mind. So ultimately, the all the obstacles are related to the mind. Atyahara, prayasascha, over physical, over exertion. Second factor. Talking too much means gossiping. Not like me. I am also talking too much. So, but gossiping too much. Gossiping too much means that the mind is not aware, mind loses that awareness. Fourth problem is binding too much with too many rules and regulation. I will surely wake up in the morning, but your mind and body is not ready to wake up, so you repent on it. And it is being repeated. The mind feels totally frustrated. You put yourself into agenda. If I say I wake up at 3 a.m. every day in the morning and you say, oh, wow, then I will succeed in meditation, and you put it into agenda, it will create a problem. It takes a long years of the practice understanding the mind. So, 4 1. And fifth one, the company of those people who always talks of blame, complaint, reaction. It may be he or she may be very near and dear to you because they are near and dear to you. So you listen to them, and listening to them causes mental disturbances. It is, sir, what should I do? I have a group in India, from India. What should I do after all? She is suffering, so I have to listen. I said, then continue to suffer. Are you able to take care of your friend? No, sir. She doesn't listen to me. It means you listen to her. And those listening causes those thoughts being repeated again and again in your mind. So these are the 6 factors. And the sixth one is the unsteadiness of the mind. The mind is fickle minded. So understand that. Now you have any one of them, you have more than one factor, and you want to succeed in meditation, not possible. So, okay, better to leave meditation. That is the best option. That is the best. Yes, that is the best option. Michelle is thinking. No, we can understand, Michelle. Don't worry. You can don't put anything on your face. So now understand what. Now, another master, what the master says in respect to the first obstacle. Beautiful. He says, I should start thinking. What should I start thinking? Yuktahara viharasya yukta chestasya karmasu. Beautiful. So, yukta. Yukta means I should think how to balance. Yukti means reasoning. I should put a reasoning as logic so that I bring my eating to a moderation. So, moderation in eating, moderation in physical activity, moderation in my behavior, moderation in my attitude, which is taking me uh, to create an obstacle. Moderation in sleep. You wake up at 7 a.m. Mind says, no, can I rest for 1 more hour? Obstacle. Obstacle. You are already in a waking state. So the mind is pulling you into the unconsciousness. So you see, yuktahara viharasya. So you think of speaking, eating, sleeping, physical activities. I should have a balance. I should have a moderation. I should understand. I should ask myself, my dear friend is calling me and she wants a divorce and she's talking all the nonsense, but because she is my friend, so I have to listen to her. Why? You're not obliged. I must be aware. I must be aware. I should find out the ways to keep a distance. Or you should be able to change the topic. You should be capable in changing. Oh, it's enough, because I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a counselor, I'm not a social worker. So better to talk to an expert where your mind is asking you, huh, to go. Talk to them. Or you can send them to me. so, so I can take care of them. Okay, now we found a beard guy, who can take care of you. So you see that, a lot of people with these problems, they come to me. So last week, I received a call from I hope, a beautiful women. Only beautiful women calls me. So, so, no, no, my husband, has a lot of drug substance abuse problem, and he is shy of talking to you. Can you guide him? I said, yes, I will guide him. No problem. So now, anyhow, I had a free consultation day before yesterday, and I told him that these are the formalities you have to do, and I'm sending you the invoice. So then I reminded this beautiful woman. No, I will ask him, and he will do everything. So there is no response. So you are excited to do it, but ultimately your excitement goes down. So we should not do this. So we are talking of the first obstacle. First obstacle. Now, simple logic, but if you think about it every day, four aspects. First, there's head. Second, heart. Third, belly. And fourth is your legs. Legs are motor organ that give you the mobility. The belly means the digestion, assimilation, and proper excretion should be there. The heart is all about the unwanted thoughts, and the mind should not be there. And this is means the discernment, the power of discernment. The moment anything comes, the wealth of the intellect is discernment. Discernment means that I separate what is right and what is wrong. I like pasta, let me overeat it. So you are not able to separate. So in every activity, I should have a proper discernment. Discernment that I am able to separate what is right and wrong. Pasta is really beautiful. I like the taste, but it does not mean that I should overeat. I use pasta for everyone, everything, even for your honey. I should talk that much where I could prevent any fight and reaction. Okay, now honey is not listening, but I am forcing him or her to listen to me. Why? What is the need? Withdraw yourself. Withdraw yourself. You see? So if you don't withdraw, you are creating a problem. Not only to yourself, for the others. So the first four factors: head, heart, belly, and feet. Every day in the morning, for just 1 minute, I check, I ask, are you okay? Are you okay? Belly, are you okay? Huh? So always take it, because the feet gives you the mobility. And if you are restricted with any kind of mobility, you know what happens? The mind gets frustrated. So you can interrelate these, interconnect. So this is another way one master talks about this. So instead of talking too much, modern science has done too much, but we are talking totally in a different way. Now come to the second obstacle. It is known as styan in Sanskrit, which simply means uh, disinterested. Mind is disinterested in doing anything that is good for our life. In a sense, it is the state of inactivity of the mind. When we say, I do not feel like doing it, take up your mind. What the hell you are talking, mind? I don't feel like doing it. By doing it, I will improve. I will change myself. But still, I don't want to do it. Many of you have expressed that feeling to me. So I said, okay, don't feel like doing it, so don't do it. So in those times, I did not say anything. I have lost enthusiasm. When we lose interest in the mind, not committed in the journey of meditation, it is a mental sickness. So understand what happens. The word, this Sanskrit word means simply withdraw. I'm unclear. I'm unable to focus. Okay, if I'm unable to focus, I'm aware that I'm unable to focus. So let me work on the mind and to focus. Many people share their experiences. No, no, you see that I was unable to focus. So I cannot enter into your head to ask your mind to focus. You have to work on it. You see that? And the first step of working is to becoming aware, separating your mind from yourself. It is a feeling of heaviness in the body and the mind. That is what I was explaining. It is one of the impressions that by which mind reacts. It is a kind of dullness. It kills your enthusiasm and energy. So now what happens? You see that you have those expressions, then the mind finds an alternative to slow down the intensity of practice. If anyone might, you might have felt. So you find an alternative, mind finds an alternative to slow down the intensity of the practice. It decreases the commitment and sincerity. The mind in dullness says, I will practice tomorrow. I will practice tomorrow. And the tomorrow never comes. Can you catch your mind? Meditation is all about living in awareness, rise in consciousness. Here America is a leader of the free world. So I don't say anything when they say, I'm feeling heavy in the body and the mind. So I do not want to think ahead. So I say, please continue to feel heaviness in the mind and body. I have no option. But we have been continuing the journey. That's why I'm explaining little deeply. The mind in the dullness says, I will practice tomorrow because I'm not feeling well. Why don't you understand? And if I say with the same tone, why don't you understand? It's a problem with your mind. Separate the mind from yourself and start doing the practice. Oh, so you are pushing me. You're taking away my freedom. So that's why I don't talk. So today I'm just talking. When the group becomes closer, then only I talk of these things. I will do the practice next time, which never comes. Then the doubt lives in the mind. You see the series of factors that starts growing in the mind. Then the doubt lives in the mind. And that says maybe the practice is not for me. What is the conclusion? Starting from that, I'm feeling heaviness in the body. Maybe this beer guy is not for me. You should be 100% sure that I am definitely not for you. You are for yourself. That you should be. Don't take me for granted. Don't take yourself for granted. And that will help you to raise your awareness and understand the doubt lives in the mind. That said, maybe the practice is not for me, not good for me. Teacher is not good for me. What I'm seeking is not fulfilled. But if you look closely, you are responsible for it. So, what happens when that kind of indifference and disinterest spreads in the mind, even during meditation? Even during meditation, maybe today's meditation was not for me. I have heard that expression from that group. Do you see that? You have to be aware and alert, watchful. You should be ready to take over the mind. That is what I have said before in the beginning in many sessions. Only one thing, either the mind working on you, you will fail. If you are working on the mind, you will definitely succeed. Now, see, we are still understanding the second obstacle. What happens when all these thought enters into your mind? This blocks the right knowledge and thinking. When it blocks the right knowledge and thinking, how much I would like to speak against this problem, your mind is not ready to listen. Did it not happen? Even with your honey? Honey, I told you, don't do this, let me rest. I can give you hundreds of these expressions. Enough is enough. Understand. The entire journey of meditation is to understand your mind. Huh? Understand your mind, the attitude that is sitting in the mind. I must get out of it. The moment you say, I am not, I feel heaviness in the body and the mind, it is basically a psychological strain prevents us from thinking and acting properly. And we don't want to understand. Honey, you are feeling heaviness in the body and the mind, so let me put another 50-pound weight on your head. And then the fight begins. Why? Because you don't want to understand. It happened to me also, and I said, okay, you're feeling so much heavy. Feeling too much heavy? Yes, too much heavy. Okay. I want to rest. Okay, rest. Finished. This obstacle can result in many things in our day to day life. Mental heaviness pulls us down, it causes the destructive outlook on ourselves and others and life in general. Think of it. I'm not saying I'm right. The masters are right. The best part is that I don't know anything. Whatever the masters are teaching, I'm passing on. And that is why I have so much of confidence. Not because I claim that I know, because I belong to that tradition, which is 6,000 years old. We have 3,000 masters. So, for God's sake, don't create a destructive outlook in your life. In the state lack of foresight, it is frequently difficult to take action and engage in a life in a creative manner. You see, I only explained the second obstacle with those thought processes going on into your mind one after the other, and those thought takes over your mind. You do not want to listen to others. Don't you know that I'm more intelligent than you? Oh, that's why you are feeling heaviness in the body and the mind. You don't want to put a logic. Does the weight of the body ever increase? Just it increased just now? Weight of the mind has increased? No, no, that's why I feel heaviness in the mind. You don't understand. You are creating more heaviness in my mind. You lose enthusiasm. You see, those factors, the chain reaction enters into your mind and it causes lot of challenges. So even if you do not agree, listen to it again and question your mind. There are two ways of learning. Once you question the teacher, and then you question the teacher. What will teacher will say? Teacher will say namaste. Nothing happens. So when you question your mind, then it means you have started changing that thought process. So we have covered two obstacles. The nine obstacles are there. Other seven obstacles are that you have shared your experiences couple of times. So what will happen when we study them? You will be able to understand those challenges. So when you understand, you know how to get rid of it. So now is the time to do the practice. Let us start our